Hey everyone, this is Brad here, and today we have a very special package, and that's because this package contains a very special item. I've been really excited about this. I've actually had this package for a few days, but I've just been waiting for the right time to do a video on it and show you guys. So let's just waste no time, and let's just open this up and find out what's inside. Inside, let's get all this out of the way. Let's see, this is probably my PayPal receipt. Yes it is. So inside here, we have a bag, and another bag. Here it is. Really wrapped in bubble wrap really well. Okay, here we have it. A component cable. And a component cable for what? Well, you know, this is the official Nintendo component cables for the Gamecube. And of course, there are no other component cables for the Gamecube. Only Nintendo made them. And that's why they're so rare and hard to find. So why did I decide to get these? Well, I have a Wii U, but of course that does not play GameCube games. Only the original Wii does. And I do not have an original Wii anymore, but I still have my GameCube. And I wanted to get the most picture quality out of them. And the only way you can do that is through component cables. Now, for most other systems, they have third-party companies that make component cables for the systems, and they're cheaper, and sometimes they're poor quality as well. But they're still available. But there are no third-party alternatives for these component cables because this cable right here has a chip inside that converts the digital output of the GameCube to an analog signal, because component cables are still analog. There's a misconception that component cables are digital, but they're not. They're still analog. So they gotta be converted from digital to analog. And that's what this chip does. And apparently no third-party company is able to copy this chip. So therefore, these cables are the only cables that exist for the GameCube. And that's why they're so rare and hard to find. You can only order them through Nintendo.com back in the day, and now you can only buy them through eBay and a few other specific places. So, yeah, that's the component cable. But what's the downside to this cable? Do you know how much I paid for this? I paid $200 for this cable. Yes, that's right. I paid $200 for this thing, and I actually feel bad for it because I know that somewhere in the United States, this cable is just sitting in some, thrift store or some yard sale, and they're selling it for like $1. Like $1 or $5 or something, like extremely cheap, and they don't realize how valuable it is, and they're selling it very cheap, and whoever finds that is going to be very lucky because they're getting a heck of a deal, because this is very expensive to find. It's very rare, and people want a lot of money for them. So, yeah, so I actually feel kind of bad. I feel kind of dumb for actually paying this much for the component cable, because you can buy Wii's, and they're like $50, $80 or something. And I actually have a set of component cables still for the original Wii, which I don't have anymore, but I still have those cables. So I could actually buy a Wii and hook that up to the component and play GameCube games that way, and it'll save like probably $100 than what this cable cost. So why didn't I do that? Well, I'm kind of a purist that way. I'd rather play GameCube games on the GameCube, and plus you can still use the Game Boy player, and you just play them natively on the GameCube, because even on the original Wii, you have to go to the disc channel and press the start button for the game to boot up, and it just takes a little bit longer for it to boot up. And nothing serious, of course, very minor, but just little things like that just make it better to play it on an actual GameCube console. So yes, $200 for this cable, and it is here. And the reason I was willing to pay $200 for this one was because this one was supposedly brand new. It's never been used before, and so this is actually a brand new cable. And people are still wanting even more than $200 for these cables. I mean, some people are trying to sell them for like over $200 on eBay. So they're getting more and more valuable now, and it's kind of a shame because, yeah, it really hurts your wallet. But anyway, though, so these are the cables, and before I move on, I should mention that not all GameCubes are compatible with these cables. You have to have an earlier model of the GameCube like this one, which has this port on it. Not all GameCubes have this port. The later models only have the AV port. So you need you need this port, and this plugs. Let's see, yes, it plugs in there. It goes the other way. It goes that way, and there you go. And it's pretty cool. It says Nintendo GameCube on it. So yes, another thing, even when you have these cables, you still need the original ones. And why is that? Because this cable has no audio. So you must still have the original composite or S-video cables to get audio out of your console. So in the end, it'll look like that. It'll look just like that. You'll actually have 3 cables hooked up to your system. This cable here for your audio, this cable for your video, and the power cable. So that's the way it'll look. So anyway, let me just hook all this up, and we'll work the magic of component 480p video here with the GameCube, and I will show you what it looks like and see if it's really worth still getting these component cables, paying this much for these component cables. Is it worth it? Did I make a dumb mistake? We'll find out right now. Okay, everybody, I'm going to start by showing you composite video. I want to show you how that looks first, and then I'll show you S-video, and then I'll finish out by showing you the component video. And I'll be using F-Zero GX to do that. This game has a lot of fast motion, a lot of color, so we'll see how that looks. Now again, this is composite, so it ain't going to look the best, but I just want to give you an idea of what all 3 of them look like. And I'll just quickly get into a game here. I'll just pick any course, any character, any mode. Just want to give you an idea again of what this all looks like. So once again, this is a composite video, and this doesn't look bad, at least not on my screen. Again, this is being directly captured on a computer, so this actually may look better than it would on your TV. But here it doesn't look bad. I mean, the colors still look, decent. The motion isn't bad. For most people, this would probably do fine. Though again, like I said, it may not look as good on your actual TV if it's being stretched, or if you're playing it on HD TV, it may look more grainy and stuff. And I know because I have played the GameCube on an actual TV, and it does not look, very appealing. So that's why I invested in these component cables. So let me stop here, and I will move on to S-Video then. Alright, so now we're using S-Video cables, and as you can see, the picture does look sharper, but other than that, I mean, it's not really too much of a difference. I mean, these would be the cables to use if you have the option, but overall though, I would say that there's not a huge improvement over composite using these cables, especially Nintendo brand. I hear Nintendo brand cables really aren't the cables to get. The Monster S-Video cables may actually be even better than the first party cables, but I can't say that myself because I have never actually used them. But regardless, though, this is an improvement over the composite cables. The text is sharper, there might be less banding or whatever going on. But the colors might be maybe a little better, but again, nothing really, big, nothing, earth-shattering. But these would be the cables to get if you have an option, like if you are still lucky enough to have a TV that has S-Video inputs on it. I would definitely go this route. I would not choose composite because those just, this is definitely better than that. But again, it's not, a huge improvement. So anyway, though, we're here to see the component video, so let's do that right now. Let me stop it here, and let's switch on over to the component video and see what that looks like because I'm very curious myself. So let's do that right now. Alright, and here is F-Zero GX being played in progressive scan mode. And so let's just jump right into it here, and we'll just do the same settings as before, same mode, same track, and the same character. Now you're not going to hear any audio in this clip because I was using a different capture method and I had less control over the audio volume. And the audio I was getting was very loud, so I just thought that it'd be best to leave it out this time. But yes, so this is F-Zero GX in progressive scan mode, and as you can see, it looks great. It looks clear, it looks smooth, it's colorful. Now, it's not high definition, so you can't expect high definition quality, but, this is really the best you can get out of the GameCube, and I think if you're spending this much on these cables, you probably will not be disappointed with the quality, even though it's not worth $200 if you ask me. It's not even worth $150. I do think that's way overpriced, but unfortunately, that's just the way it is right now. If you want these cables, you have to pay that much because they're rare and they can't be duplicated by third parties. So, you just have to pay that much for them. Now, I must note here, though, that you do have to, when you first get these cables, you will have to hold down the B button to enable progressive scan mode the first time. If you do not do that, you will still be playing the games in 480i. It will be very clean 480i, granted, but it will not be 480p. It will not be progressive scans. So you must hold down the B button first, and then the game will prompt you if you want to enable progressive scan mode, and then you will say yes to that, and then it will play in progressive scan. And then after that, you will no longer have to hold down the B button, but you still have to tell it to boot in progressive scan mode, though. So yeah, hopefully this has helped you and other people as well in deciding if you want to invest, in these cables. I mean, it sucks that they're, so expensive, but I mean, if you're willing to pay this much for the best picture quality out of your cable, for your GameCube, rather, then I think you'll be happy with the quality. This does look very good, and it may look a little different on your particular TV because of different, TV settings and picture settings you can adjust. But this does give you some kind of idea of what you can expect when you use these cables. So anyway, guys, I guess that wraps up my review and my look through of these cables. I hope you all learned something from this. I hope it helped you, and I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So I'll see you guys later, and you guys have a good one.